Hey guys, I am back with week 17, 18, and 19 in my Project Life Process video. And week 17 and 18, I will be using Amy Tan collections, the Ready, Set, Go, and Stitched. And for week 19, I will be using the Teen Edition by Project Life. So this is my title card. I just went really simple. I don't have a lot of ephemera or anything that goes with the Ready, Set, Go collection. So I just cut out some of the die cuts in this Ready, Set, Go and just try and use some of it as ephemera. I do use the Mia Alpha from Studio Calico and the number set from L Studio for the month and date and the week. I don't think I did use a label that I made. No, I did not. I'm sorry. I used the whatchamacallit L's Alphas by Avery L. So here, I originally was going to use that 4x4 card for the journaling, but then I found the green one from that same collection that has like the weeks and, well, not necessarily the days, but I had to cover or white out the weeks because they started off with Monday and I start off with Sunday, so. And I really liked that I had not one day that was NA, so I got to journal a lot on that journal card. So here is the last card for that week, week 17, because I do split that one layout, which is a bit interesting because that middle 4x4, you'll see later. So I decided to use this Studio Calico stamp set that I got in the Maker limited edition kit, and I'm really disappointed in the Brilliance Moonlight White. I mean, when you look at it really close, from my point of view, it looks good, but through the camera, it doesn't look like you can see it well. But nonetheless, I kind of like how it came out because I wanted to. I thought the blue was a bit too dark, so I wanted to add some light to that, which is why I used the Brilliant or Moonlight White. So this journaling is kind of ironic because I used some like die cuts or cutouts that are more positive, more girly, but the journaling is just a bit negative. Like it was an incident that happened that week, which was absolutely just nuts. And I don't know if I'm gonna do a story video or if I have enough time to talk about that. So here is week 18, which I use the Stitch collection. And you'll see me go all out on this title card. I had this idea while I was laying in bed last night and I wanted to use this method. So, it came out okay, but you'll see. So I use, you know how like in the 12 by 12s there's that top strip that's attached to the main 12 by 12 paper and you have to rip it off. So I use those strips because I don't really like to waste my scraps. I try to use as much of it as I can. So I just had this idea to put different pieces on the background in like different lengths. Like I said, it does come out okay. I just wish I probably would have brought it down a bit. But I really do recommend this method to those who are also like me that don't like to waste scraps and just need some ideas on how to use them. So I really hope this helps some of my fellow scrappers, you guys, to use those scraps up. So I just cut off the excess, and as you can see, it kind of looks wobbly a bit, and I do use my Tim Holtz, whatchamacallit, tiny attacher. And I'm kind of disappointed on how I did the title. I just simply put noteworthy. I don't know why, but I don't know. And I just doodled like a circle around it just to emphasize on that. And I used my simple stories documented alphas and used some more of those scraps and stamped um, a label in Coral Bay. Or it might be from the Kelly Perky coral color, I'm not sure. And just stamped the week 18. And that's my title card. It's okay. It's okay. At least my creativity is really starting to come out. And I already did the journaling for that week as well, and I'm really happy that everything is like written out. There's no blank spaces. And this is the interesting card. I split it in half, so I use um half part from the Ready Set Go, and I of course I had to use the calendar because I have to be very consistent with the beginning of every month, which I use the Stitch collection. And I think the 2014 is a little bit too big. I should have used a different number stamp set, but that's okay. And then I decided to use the Stitch ephemeras for the Ready Set Go section because it just needed, I didn't want to leave it blank and I didn't know what to do with it, so I just decided to use the Stitch ephemera. And I don't really like that camera, so that's why I used it on that layout. So here I decided to use the method again of my paper shredder, and my paper shredder makes those shapes. I don't know what you call it, but I just did it on the far top left and bottom right corners, and used the Stitch ephemeras, and used the Studio Calico stamp set with the geometric shapes that came in the BRB kit that I purchased for like $7 from Studio Calico, and just stamped those shapes in the corner of those areas because I do want to leave some negative space on the top and bottom. I didn't want it to make it too busy. So I like how that card came out. So here is week 19, and there are a few photos. So the title card is called Training Day, and I used the Avery's Alpha stamp set, and I was planning to color those letters in, but I decided to leave it. And I decided to write out the month, days, and the week just to, I don't know, take a rest from the stamping. So here I finally had the opportunity to use the teeny tiny backdrops, and I decided to use the stars. And I do use the labels that I made from one of these Studio Calico stamp sets, and just wrote a little bit of that's Tanya. This is during the time that I was actually team captain for billiards, so she was one of my team members, and this is our first day of training. I don't know if you would call it training, because billiards, it's a bit, it's just one of those sports that are really fun to play. You don't really think of training, you think of just having fun. So I had to cut out this horizontal photo of me and Emery drinking the Buko Republic drinks, and I do make a mistake here. I know some of my Filipino friends will just like look at this like Coco Republic. That's not what it's called, and I do correct this later on. So it's not called Coco Republic, it's called Buko Republic. And if you don't know, buko is coconut. So I also used the label I stamped out in this circle shape, and just wrote a little note that, well, actually, I wouldn't say Emery recommended. She actually forced me because, being half Mexican and half Filipino, my father's culture, they don't really see avocado as a dessert, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I always see my father like do avocado, like, the salty, put adding salt, like nothing sweet. It's not a sweet dessert to him. But in the Philippines, avocado is a dessert kind of thing. So I already did the journaling, and there are some photos of Emery and one of my other teammates, Daehan, who is from South Korea, and they looked really good in these photos. And I just decided not to decorate those because it's just one of those photos that you just have to leave it alone because it looks so good by itself. So here is Tanya and Daehan together, and just added that stamped label, and I will be adding some orange enamel dots to that. And that is pretty much it for this process video, and I will see you guys on Friday. Thanks, guys. Bye.